you have a camera and you're not in an airport, if you could turn it on, that would be great. Mike, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Going cameraless?
No, I wasn't intending to.
Okay. We can see your name, not your.
Well, that's probably an advantage. But I'm on.
Okay. All right. All right. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the May 5th meeting of the Sacramento-Yolo Port District Commission Board of Directors and the Board of Directors of the Sacramento-Yolo Port Financing Corporation. We did meet in closed session, and Mr. Mitchell, would you be so kind as to report out on closed session?
Certainly. The commission met in closed session with their real property negotiators to discuss the two items that are listed in your agenda. No actions were taken.
Thank you. And just before we get started, as a reminder, pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order N-29-20, members of the Sacramento-Yolo Port District Commission and staff will participate in this meeting via teleconference. To reduce the spread of COVID-19, members of the public are asked to watch the meeting broadcast live on Wave Cable Channel 20 or live streaming on the city's website. And to submit comments, if you so choose, in writing by 4 p.m. on the date of the meeting. And that brings us to item 1, which is presentations by the public on matters not on the agenda within the jurisdiction of the commission. And we're prohibited from discussing issues on the agenda that are brought to us during this time. But with that, we do welcome comments and input from the public. Mr. Clerk, did we receive any comments before 4 p.m. this afternoon?
No, there was none.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to the regular agenda, which is consideration of funding options for an electric vehicle charging station at the North Terminal. Ms. Stiles.
Good evening, Chair Villegas and commissioners. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick. Mr. Clerk, can you enable me to share my screen, please? There we go. Thank you. Okay, so tonight, item 2 is consideration of funding options for an electric vehicle charging station project at the North Terminal. This presentation will provide the commission with a short overview of the project, and staff is asking that the commission approve the scope of work for a proposed electric vehicle charging station and direct staff to pursue grant funding opportunities which align with this project. So as I'm sure you are all aware, areas surrounding the port's North Terminal facility are disproportionately burdened by negative effects of emissions and pollution. And over the years, the port has taken various actions to help mitigate this pollution. And kind of the next step in that mitigation plan would be proposing an electric vehicle charging project, which would be located at Shed 7. Our current maritime lessee, SSA Pacific, will be replacing their 14 diesel forklifts with electric forklifts that are used to service the port's rice business. And these forklifts are existing CARB compliant forklifts. So SSA Pacific is just being proactive in replacing vehicles that are already compliant. The exploration of an EV replacement was in part sparked by an announcement made by the California Air Resources Board, which launched their Clean Off-Road Equipment Voucher Incentive Project. And through that project, SSA was able to secure 14 vouchers to assist with the purchase of EV forklifts and has since purchased 14 Wiggins lithium electric forklifts for deployment at the port. The port, in turn, was also able to secure 14 vouchers through that program to assist with the purchase of supportive EV infrastructure. So as you can see in attachment 3 in your package, each of those vouchers provide the port with a $30,000 credit, that's per unit. And staff is exploring additional grant and incentive opportunities, including the Community Air Protection Incentive Program, which is being administered by the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District. So this is an aerial of the proposed project site. Hoping everybody can see my cursor. Over here is, where Shed 7, I'm sure you're all familiar with the site. This is where Shed 7 is. And Shed 7 was chosen as the proposed site because it is uniquely situated to accommodate charging infrastructure. There is an existing high voltage network system that was put in place a long time ago to support bulk cargoes that are no longer operational at the port. And this is kind of a closer up photo of Shed 7. The chargers would essentially be affixed under the overhang here to the actual building, taking advantage of that infrastructure that's already there. So the next slide, this is a mock-up of the proposed project plan. And given the current utility structure of Shed 7, it's estimated that we can accommodate 8 DC fast chargers. So those are shown here under that canopy. And SSA Pacific will still be purchasing 14 EV forklifts, but they'll just have to come up with some sort of a schedule that they rotate them through those eight chargers. And staff is hoping to have this project built by January of 2022 so that SSA can deploy their forklifts. And although the purchase of these forklifts was the catalyst for this project, these chargers have a general utility charging capabilities. So years from now, they can be used to charge any type of electric vehicle. This project is not necessarily unique to SSA Pacific. And we see this as a long-term improvement that is adaptable for both light duty and heavy duty vehicles. And converting this system to charging stations supports the long-term goal of accommodating the broader electrification of the goods movement sector. So the cost estimate for this project is included in attachments 3 and 4, but those estimates don't include any additional grant or incentive funding that outside of the ones that I've already mentioned that we are pursuing. So staff will be presenting a budget, I believe, next month, and we'll make sure to include an amount in the project in the capital portion of that budget. And if and when we do secure a grant, the commission will have an opportunity to review that grant and approve that at a subsequent meeting. So that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Stiles. And I did want to mention I'm sitting in as chair. Because our chair is not is participating on kind of en route.
Okay.
So sorry, I didn't want to surprise you with that.
Yeah, no problem.
Other members of the commission, do members of the commission have any questions or comments for Ms. Stiles on this item?
Just wanted to, I'm certainly very supportive of it. Glad to see it. One of the reasons for the governance reforms that led to the community essentially taking ownership of the port was to improve our environmental footprint and to advance green port strategies. And this scale of improvements with SSA is just right. And so really appreciate all the work and the coordination between you, Megan, and our team and SSA, and all of the opportunities to try to put all the dollars together to make this really work. We've seen in other parts of the city the impact that the charging infrastructure has to support greater use of commercial and also individual electric vehicles, and this is exactly the kind of investment that we should be making and using other people's money to do most of it. So thanks so much for your work on this, Megan.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Mr. Walden, for that. Yeah, this is totally in line with where the port has put the most time I've been on it, trying to head in terms of how we impact the environment and the footprint we leave behind. So yeah, 100% supportive of this and the right time to get it out there. So thanks.
Well, I'll say, Megan, it's a good job. Thanks for bringing this to us. I totally concur. It's the way to go. So good job.
Yep, totally agree. Thank you very much, Megan. Timely and yeah, totally supportive. Thank you very much.
All right. It sounds like we're in agreement, but do we need to be actually have a formal recommendation, or is it just right now?
We were just kind of looking for feedback, and
okay.
basically the allowance to pursue further grant opportunities. So I'll take that as a yes to move forward with that.
Great. Yes.
We might. This is a port. Might be one of the only port commissions in California that has an EV majority on it.
Yes. Duly noted. Thank you, Commissioner Cabaldon. All right. Thank you. And that brings us to our general administration functions and commission reports, including the staff. I know, Mr. Toft, if I could call on you first and then ask commissioners if there are reports.
The only other thing I have, thank you, Madam Vice Chair, is a reminder to the commissioners that staff is trying to schedule a Port Commission retreat either the last week of July or the second week of August. And I will send out a reminder email this evening, and appreciate your response as to availability.
Thank you. Any other reports from commissioners? All right, Port Attorney report.
I have nothing to report.
Great. And I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner McGowan, seconded by Commissioner Ledesma. All those, and let's call the roll, Mr. Clerk.
Sure. Commissioner Cabaldon,
Yes.
Commissioner Ledesma,
Yes.
Commissioner McGowan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Sandin,
Yes.
Chair Villegas. Yes.
All right. Our meeting's adjourned. Everyone have a good evening. Thank you.
Good job, staff, all the way around. Thank you.